It's the Katie show.
You can take it. You can take it. Tired of you stealing all my ideas. Anyway, what's up, guys? Some semblance of an office here. We're going to have better sound, better everything coming soon. Right now, I'm just going to announce this to everybody on Twitter so they can join in and we can get some really inappropriate and very, very, very insulting comments, which is what we always expect from Twitter. But today's going to be a very, very special podcast. One, because we're here. Two, because there's a lot going on in this world. We're going to open this up at the end to live Q&A. Anything you guys want to ask us, from fitness to family to whatever you want to ask us, we're here to answer it. But Kate, you go ahead and talk, and I'm going to go ahead and just put this post on Twitter.
If it is too echoey, tell us, or if he's talking too loud and it's making it too echoey, tell us, and we'll open some of these doors, because we can't really tell.
You know, I can open them right now. The kids are being good.
Oh, really?
I think that's fine. I was expecting them to be much worse because there are kids. But nonetheless, let me just do this. Are we straight? Is it straight?
I think so.
All right, good. Now that should be perfect. That should be very good. So, come.
Well, I can't see the comments because they're over there, so you're putting
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to have it
is our
going
audience
on.
for the evening. He's sitting there looking very, very fancy.
Okay, so we are going to rock this out. Ready to go. I'm going to put it on right now.
You will hear kids screaming in the background because this is our house.
But before we even get going, I would like to start out and just, see, it's right here. Right here. Got it. See? So anyway, let's get into what we want to talk about. So I had a tweet actually go viral. I've had a couple viral tweets in the last few weeks, which has been cool. Here's my tweet for the day, and I want to read this to kind of give a background of what we're going to talk about. And I put this, now remember, it doesn't mean everybody needs to do this, but this is my comment. If men lifted weights, ate adequate protein, took responsibility for their actions, raised their kids, participated in combat sports, we would not be in the societal issues we are in now. Men have become weak. With weak men comes a weak and fragile society. Now, I say that with the utmost respect to women, to mothers. What I'm saying is both genders. Yes, there are two genders. Both, you can identify as whatever you want, but biologically there are two genders. You want to know the difference between genders? Katie, go call Ruckus when he runs away. I'll call him. The dog's going to come to me, but he's not going to respect yourself. As deep of a voice, isn't as large, as intimidating. There are definitely biological differences between men and women. Okay, it is what it is. Look, but if you're a man and you feel you're a woman, if you're a woman, you feel you're a man, I respect that. I'll call you sir, I'll call you ma'am, I'll call you whatever you want me to call you. But biologically speaking, there's a difference. And I feel a lot of what we have going on in society is that there isn't any rule, any law, any strong men, and sometimes women, in the household to straighten their kids out when they start going sideways. And when you don't give kids that proper backbone, that proper order, that proper structure to their life, you get what you have now. And that's a bunch of disrespectful punks who want handouts. So I am unapologetically male. I am unapologetically masculine. If that's toxic to you, that's your problem, not mine. But I'll tell you this, our kids are raised with love. Our kids are raised with the utmost support for what their goals and their dreams are. And our kids can see how a functioning relationship acts, how it's supposed to be, how men and women are supposed to work together to help bring up a family. And statistically, I am correct. Statistically, single parent households are at a disadvantage for all measures of success, from salary to not having kids before they're married, to a lot of different societal, I'm going to call them issues. So a lot of people, including Larry Elder, Ben Shapiro, says, there's three things, and I don't even know if I remember all three, but I'm just going off right now. Three things that will predicate success. One is finish high school. Two is do not have a kid before being married. And I forgot what the third one was. But those are things I'm with. Katie, what do you think?
I mean, I think, I pretty much agree with you on this topic, so I don't have a whole lot more to add. We were talking about this sort of similar subject today with our home automation guy, and statistics on males in the household. Should I talk about those?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Well, we were talking specifically about bad areas.
Inner cities. Inner city
areas.
Statistics.
Right. And how it's changed since the 60s. And basically how there's a lot more single parent households now, which could be why, you know.
So here's the thing. Inner city households, back in the 1960s, I believe 77% of inner city households had both parents in them.
Right.
Okay, and we can't argue, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, we can't argue institutional racism because, well, I'd say it was much more racist in the 60s versus now. In fact, I saw a video of Joe Biden, I believe it was in the 60s or 70s, straight up dropping the N-word. Like straight up like saying the N-word, repeat, like it was not even a big deal. But I'm not saying he hasn't changed, but I'm saying things were different back then. Are we going to disagree? Whereas we're in what I consider as close to a post-racial society as we've ever been. And now it's gotten worse. Now the question is, when we dive into systemic racism, why? Why are these problems existing? And this is the whole thing I have with the protest. I said this today, I'm all for the protests. I'm wearing a 1776 shirt. This country was founded on freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, which is the right to protest peacefully. Now, the one thing I have against these protesters is they don't know what they're protesting for. Like in the 60s civil rights movement, beautiful. They had a goal, ending segregation, an easily measurable thing. How do you know if you ended segregation? Well, we share a water fountain, right? Easily measurable. Systemic racism's weird. It's different because it's how you perceive things to be. Statistically, you can argue either way. Statistically, there are more white people, even though there's more white people in the country, I can argue that. Per capita, the statistics are not that far off from police brutality, police killings. I believe 9 black men were killed by cops last year. Whites were, I think, 22. And I think cops killed by criminals or suspects was, I don't remember, it was 80 plus. I don't remember. It was like 800 or 80. I don't remember which one it was. So it's hard to argue systemic racism, right? So my thing would be with these protests, we need a measurable thing. How do you measure racism? Like, there's always going to be people who hate other people, right? Like, there's always going to be ignorant, dumb fucks. There's always going to be ignorance, that you can't rid the world of stupid people. So if they're marching until racism ends, they're never going to stop marching because racism's always going to be a part of society. Does that affect you? So we need to find how it affects you, and then we need to fix that or fix the root of it. And when I look in the statistics, I see a large portion of our problems are caused by men being feminized. The feminist movement.
Skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans have screwed everything up. The quote-unquote soy boys. So my question is, I'm not meaning this condescending, this is my conclusion that could be wrong, and I'll gladly say I'm wrong if somebody proves me wrong. But the statistics show that when a man is not present in a household, it is at a very disadvantageous position for success. Did I say that much? You have nothing to add?
No.
So that's my little monologue for the day. I took up a long time.
Right.
So what I would like to do is get into these questions, and I want to encourage you to ask anything. Anything
you already
you
have
want.
questions you've just been talking
I
about.
know, but I want you to ask whatever you want. If you want to ask about our relationship, great. If you want to ask about what's been called on Twitter, my tiny penis, that's all good. They think that steroids should your penis on Twitter. And if you want to talk about whatever, if you want, I'll answer anything unless it's an illegal topic, like what steroid cycle should be on. I'm not going to answer that, but we'll answer whatever you like. This is your time, not ours. As long as you can say play some ping pong, got the ping pong table installed upstairs.
This is a 30-minute podcast, but I'll prove to him that he can't only talk for 30 minutes.
Okay, so from Black Style. Hey Marc, I think it's Black. It's with Black Scale. Black Scale. Well, it's BLVCKSCVLE. I don't know how I'm supposed to read that. Maybe I'm old, maybe I'm a boomer.
You don't need to read who it's from.
Hey Marc, do you miss working on Civation? No, I sold it in 2011, never looked back. Think about being an entrepreneur. When you sell something, you have to be able to just let go. And it sucks sometimes. It was a big part of my life, but there's not one day that goes by that I miss it. No, I haven't even thought about it till you asked me that. All right, from 1776, I like the shirt. Well, thank you very much, man. We ran these, we sold out, and I'm thinking we need to bring these back, man. People really like 1776. From Paris Vide, what advice do you have for someone looking to build their own home as well? Where to start, huh?
Oh, I can talk now?
I've been asking you to talk.
Okay, stop.
It's going to happen. You're going to get screamed at. It happens every time.
Okay. My first bit of advice would be to pick a location where you want to live, a city, do research, know the political climate of the state, and my next bit of advice would be find a builder who you can communicate with that is responsive. I've heard too many stories where people build a house and they're like, it takes days to get responses. You're going to be talking to them all the time. And my other piece of advice would be, set a budget and stay within your budget.
Yeah. And good to go over that budget.
But yeah, I mean, I like with our builder, we picked everything up front. So you didn't start the process and they're like, okay, now during this week, you're going to go pick tile, and you're like, you fall in love with something, but it's not what you've allotted for that portion of the house, and then you have to change. We did it kind of all within a few days, picking everything, which was a lot easier to do, because that whole process, if you're picking along the way, it's a process is goes months. And so, yeah, that's my advice.
My advice is let your wife do it.
That's a great bit of advice. Especially when you have no really input other than, all I want is hardwood floors.
I was right, though. These hardwood floors are dope.
Yeah, I don't know if I could stand here all day at the standing desk.
No, it's good. Your feet get strengthened, man. My posture is great.
I can't sit still.
Do I need to get something for you to lean on?
Maybe make it a little bit higher.
Higher?
There.
Ooh.
That's better.
All right, cool.
I can lean on it.
Do you want your walker with the tennis balls in the
You're
front?
the one that broke your hip today.
Man, okay, so I was playing football with the boys with
the little boys.
The little boys with Marv.
Not like his boys.
With the Curry kids, with Marv and Thomas. And I'm like, y'all can't beat me. So Marv lined up. I'm like, let's go.
Marv is 9.
He's a very tough 9-year-old. But anyway, so I'm backing up. He does one of these, and I went this way, and my legs went that way, and I landed on turf, and now I have my hip hurts.
The whole walk, we just walked the dog. He's like,
yeah, I'm not doing too well, guys. So anyway, Angela, hello, Marc and Katie. Hello, Angela. How are you today?
I'm much better at reading. You suck.
Mitchell Burton, you're not wrong, Marc. Strong male figures need to be in the family unit. I don't care if I get cancel cultured. I don't care. I'm going to stand up for males to be males. And I got hated on Twitter, which is nothing new. We're up to 10 steroid insults for the day. Record numbers of steroid insults from what I just read you guys. Record numbers. This means I'm growing. My second viral tweet of the week. It's been a very good week on Twitter because they were not the things I expected to go viral. But that was nice. Strong mentally and physically. Yes. Now, here's the reason I say physically, because I always tell people in the gym, I was training, and Trevor is 4 weeks out, my training partner. I trained with a guy named Brent and a guy named Trevor. And Trevor literally was just he's like, I'm going to get 10 reps. He ended up getting 20, right? And I always tell Trevor, and he's not as experienced as Brent. I'm like, Trevor, where the mind leads, the body follows. Your body might only be able to do 10 reps, but your mind can push your body to do much more. There's something in humans called reserve strength. You ever hear those stories of women lifting up cars to get their baby out? That's legit. Not you, kid boomer. But literally, there's stories of these heroic feats of strength. People are like, that's not true. And I'm like, no. There's something we learned about in Exos called the reserve strength. So you have absolute strength, maximal strength, and then reserve strength. Adrenaline, and that's all you got. That's your 100%. None of us really achieve it, but the closer you can come to achieving that 100% mentally, the more you'll have results. Now, as the mind leads, the body follows. Where the body leads, the mind follows. Exercise, the only thing you can do in this world that improves your mental cognition, actually fires and builds new neurons the first time you do it. So, yes, I am going to stick to the fact that meatheads are actually the smart ones here. And our penises are not tiny. It's funny, so allegedly, like one of the guys at, I'm not gonna say which one, at the event we did at Carbon, one of the bodybuilders there is known for his enormous penis. They have a nickname for him and everything.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say his nickname or else he'll give away who it is.
Do I care?
Because Brent knew, he's like,
You should just stop sharing this insider information.
you know what, if someone fills out their posing trunks, you gotta show a man some respect. All right, right on, totally agree. My husband and I think the same. Awesome. Melly monk fruit. Monk fruit's expensive as shit, by the way. OG.
Or are you thinking of dragon fruit?
Monk fruit. The sweet.
Oh, the
it's
sweet tea. Yeah,
expensive.
okay.
Single parent household is a real issue. I know from experience. I'm glad you brought that up. No, I'm not saying that you can't be very successful and very happy and very well adjusted in a single parent household. However, statistically speaking, you are at a disadvantage. So if we look at all these things like race and this and that and the other, the one commonality is single parent households. And so whatever race has more single parent households will theoretically be at more of a disadvantage. Hey Mark, how's everything going? Hey, what's up? Freddie, how you doing, bro? He's from Ohio. Dude, Tennessee's amazing, Freddie, and it's much better than Ohio. I'm always in Ohio. Did I just do always in Ohio? I'm talking about the penis. It just got me. Teach, my brother. I'm trying. I mean, of course, Dingle, I'm guessing single parent homes are the biggest cause of crimes. I wouldn't say they're the biggest causes. I say they set a kid up to be more likely to participate in the life of crime. So true. Thank you, Josh. LOL, good old Mark blaming all society ills on skinny jeans. That was actually her.
I did say skinny jeans. That was one of the few words I've said.
Okay. You can talk. Well, go ahead, Reed.
Hi, Mark and Katie. Mark, have you or anyone you've known ever had to deal with Costochondritis? I thought it said Costco-chondritis. I thought it was like Costco, like it's in the store.
Do you know what that is?
No. Maybe it's supposed to be Costco, like you get arthritis at Costco. I don't know. Sorry, I'm joking. That might be something very serious.
That's why we don't. That's why we don't let you talk.
But English is not my strength.
It's like the only language you know.
No, I learned Spanish first, and you like basically spell how you say it in Spanish. So it's all English.
And now you suck at Spanish. So where are we?
Just a disappointment. Hey, Mark, I have a question. Do you see the supplement industry returns to the way it was 10 years ago?
I hope to God it doesn't. Yeah. The supplement industry's gotten so much better in the last 10 years. I would hate to regress. We've come so far in label transparency. We've come so far in lab testing. We have many more credible, reputable manufacturers. A lot of the dingleberry hangers, the pro-hormone makers, the ephedra, those companies have fallen off. I believe that we're in an extremely good spot compared to 10 years ago, and I don't want to regress, I want to progress with the supplement industry.
Do you recommend cardio on rest days?
It depends what your goals are. I'm not going to... So my question is, and I mean this not to be condescending or facetious or whatever, is what do you consider cardio? Like, some people like consider walking to be cardio, right? So does that mean you don't go to the grocery store? You know, and some people like to do really high intensity HIIT training, but if you're training 6 days a week and on your one off day, you're doing 800 sprints. So there's no black and white answer to that. It's a big gray area.
Yeah. Hey Mark, how have you been, bro? What you think about when all the NPC competition shows started back, planned again this summer when everything planned out, bro? I think he wants to know what you think about the NPC shows starting back in the summer.
I think they need to start back immediately. Now, there's a show in Alabama, I believe this weekend or next weekend, that's kicking off kind of the southern shows that are going on here. That we actually talked about that. We were at our seminar last week. Basically, all of the shows will go on that are scheduled from now until later. So theoretically, hypothetically, and hopefully...
Not necessarily, because if their states are still on lockdown, the summer's changing back to more rules, right? Like
some are, but they haven't rolled back a lot of things. So I know that there, no matter what, the Nashville show, there's a Nashville whatever, bodybuilding show, and if Nashville says no, Nashville is very liberal. They just passed a mask law.
So are the competitors going to have to wear masks?
No, it means they're going to switch venues. And if people have to go on stage and pose in masks,
Oh, and not do it in Davidson County?
yeah, they would literally go right over the border into Williamson County. And I believe the NPC has come a long way since 5, 6, 7 years ago, like the supplement industry. So I believe that the NPC we have in charge now will find a way to really make this work and get us back safely and soundly and basically make bodybuilding great again. It's be a good year for bodybuilding. And you know, what a story for people who come back and compete. A lot of people can say they dieted and trained for a show, but how many people can say they dieted and trained for a show through a pandemic? That's the shit that stories are made of right there for your grandkids. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out. Obviously, the people who had access to weight equipment and gyms and even knew how to use bands are going to be to a tremendous advantage. So it's going to be interesting to see the quality of competitors. The quantity should be there because people are itching to compete and there's less shows. However, the quality is questionable. So I'm going to be interested to see. However, the people I have seen on the pro level, because I don't really sound very elitist, but I don't really talk to many amateurs. But the pros I know, they got it in. And a lot of these guys are so genetically inclined that even if they take 6 weeks off, they come back for 3 weeks, the veins are popping, the test is flowing, everything's good.
Do you think a lesbian couple could raise a healthy child together, or do you think there's a need to be an adult male in the family somewhere?
I absolutely do think a lesbian and a gay couple can raise a child to be very, very successful. However, I do believe that the preferential family unit, in my opinion, not bad, is going to have, and there could be different personality types, right? Because like, what if a woman is like, in my family, my dad showed me work ethic, empathy, and love. My mom was a fucking savage. So as long as you have the personalities where you have a authoritarian kind of father figure, and then, you know, you have a nurturer, I think that can work. What do you think?
Going to the question, yes, I think a lesbian or gay couple could raise a healthy child. But the second question is, do you think there needs to be an adult male in the family somewhere? So if it's a lesbian couple, yes, absolutely. I think it is probably a good thing to have like a good friend that's male, or an uncle, or a grandfather that has a male role in the family. You said like have a more masculine role. Like there are some lesbian couples where someone is more masculine, or there's both are not.
Every lesbian couple, it's not like the
no, there's no. So if you have two that, I mean, this is stereotypical, but I think I'm trying to explain it properly. It's not, doesn't necessarily mean it's PC, but if you have two very feminine lesbian couple, yeah, it's probably a very good thing. Even the opposite, any lesbian couple, and then flip it to gay couple, probably good to have like a grandma, an aunt, a good friend who has, you know, a gay couple's not going to talk to a girl about her period and, you know, like the same as
so that's something
like there's certain things.
That's something I wanted to bring up because like
periods.
Yeah, let's assume that you have two guys and a daughter, right? Two male parents and a daughter, and the daughter has her period, and she might not know what's going on down there. And I don't know what's going on down there either. So it's good to have someone perspective. So hopefully calling
like
a homie.
Friend.
Yeah, calling a homie. But look, here's the deal. I like dual parent households because you need the two personalities going.
Yeah.
And I do believe that, I do believe that you are in an advantageous position when you do have a solid male figure.
I personally would rather see a lesbian or gay couple as opposed to a just single family household.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's tiers, you know?
I mean,
but
if I had to pick like the situation, that would be my.
But yeah, I've known so many gay couples or even single gay parents who've done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job. We're just going on statistics, and overall, I do believe there's a breakdown of the nuclear family in the country, and it's almost frowned upon to be a nuclear family. One of Black Lives Matter's goals is to end and destroy the nuclear family, and I'm not cool with that. I don't like that. I'm not saying they don't have the right to believe that. I'm saying that I believe that's a huge mistake societally.
Moving on, mono versus HCl creatine. What do you recommend, and which do you take?
I make Creapure creatine from MTS Nutrition. HCl creatine is a scam. It's basically the same dosing as creatine. There's less studies. And it was just a way to differentiate from creatine. But anybody saying it doesn't cause water bloat has no understanding how creatine works, because monohydrate won't either. you're basically taking in creatine, right? And it's just a marketing spin, and it's unfortunate that there's a lot of people who exaggerate certain things in this industry. And yes, monohydrate is superior, in my opinion, to every other form of creatine. It's the one where studies are on. It's the tried and true.
Marc, can you make a cereal flavored outright bar? Yeah, for sure we can.
We're
We
doing
just
all
have
that.
3 flavors coming out within the next few weeks, and I think there was like 2 more we approved. So, yeah. What kind of cereal?
Yeah, let us know. I believe families are defined by love. I grew up with 2 horrible, abusive, addicted parents. My family is me and my husband. We are gay, raising our child. Awesome.
A healthy, supportive
I
environment.
love it.
Yep.
Honestly, it's about love and support.
Right.
And by me saying that the family unit is breaking down, I'm not trashing all single parents or gay couples. What I'm doing is saying that men need to take responsibility for their kids and raise them and take care of them and show them that positive role model and be strong and show them work ethic and all that good stuff.
Costochondritis is inflammation of the cartilage that connects the ribs to the breastbone.
Yeah, I still don't know what the
Yeah.
okay.
There's inflammation.
Yeah, sorry, that's not I'm above my pay grade.
I used to get it when I hit it in my teenage years. Really sucks.
I think he's talking about the costochondritis.
Oh, I don't know if that's the same person that said that. Hi, Joseph. Hey, Marc, what's next? 3 new flavors of outright bars?
We have 3 new flavors of outright
New
bars.
ruckus flavors?
Yeah, what she said. Clash is coming back in stock.
Yeah, and maybe some other cool stuff that is preliminarily in the
Hey,
works.
Marc, I hope when everything gets back together again, I can make a trip out to Tennessee for cut of the day. Maybe we can get together soon and have lunch. Tennessee's open.
What's cut of the day?
Just hang
Cut-
out, I
For
guess.
cut of
Part of the day.
Oh,
Maybe he's doing talk to text.
could be.
So Tennessee's open. Like we haven't had any spikes. Like there's no sign of us needing to shut down again. Tennessee just mandated masks. No, Nashville mandated masks. Nashville's still in phase 2. Actually, they just started phase 3. Franklin's in phase IDGAF. So it's a whole different world out here than a lot of the country.
You become the like twins. The twins just eat fast food.
Oh,
they- the
yeah.
Hodge
We don't eat
twins.
fast food. Now, Hodge twins are.
We don't look anything like the Hodge twins.
I look
We're
just
not
like Kevin.
nearly as funny.
So that's why we don't look like them. So they're the conservative twins now. So you might be watching. I mean, they've really done a great job in breaking into the comedy scene and then parlaying that into their conservative personas, which I think is genius. The guys are great. I love them. I'm a huge friend and fan of those guys. I love those guys.
What would be a good way to condense the Big 5 split into 3 days? Temporary, of course. Put a couple body parts together.
Hold on, let me think. So basically do bench and shoulder press one day, deadlift and rows, and then give squat its own day and add some of the accessories. That would be the easiest way to explain it. I don't like it because that's a lot of stress on the body and you're not able to really go all out. Whichever exercise you decide to do second in the combo days is going to be weak as fuck. So I wouldn't be a huge fan of it, really.
Okay, so the cereal ideas are Fruity Pebbles and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So Flex Pro Meals does something that's very similar to the outright bar, but it has to be refrigerated and it has Fruity Pebbles in it, and it's horrible. The other flavors are fine. They have cookies and Reese's Pieces. Other suggestions, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that would probably be really good. But I don't know if we want to, we'd have to find a generic.
No, we wouldn't. We just
I
can't
guess
say
to
cinnamon toast
on the label.
crunch.
Yeah, that's true. All right, can you build muscle on a carnivore diet?
You can. Basically, the essential nutrients in a diet are essential fatty acids and essential amino acids. Carbohydrate, albeit I'm going to do a video on this weekend. Carbohydrate are not essential, but I believe they are optimal. You can build a muscle on a carnivore diet. It's extremely not optimal, and your performance in the gym will scientifically proven to be lower. At the end of the day, when on a ketogenic or even what this is a gluconeogenic based diet, your performance will suffer, and you might not even know it's suffering, but you are suboptimal, and that's based on a lot of current data that shows that keto diets underperform when it comes to performance, And the way you build muscle is performance. You overload the muscle. So if you're not performing as well in the gym, you're not in a more optimal state to build muscle. While you can do it on the carnivore diet, I believe this is an extremely disadvantageous diet plan to help reach your goals.
2 more questions. I wasn't aware you left Ohio. Was there any reason in particular you choose to move to Tennessee? We never lived in Ohio.
We have never lived in Ohio. Our warehouse is still in Ohio.
We picked Tennessee because there's no state income tax. The dividend tax is being phased out. The weather's much better. Property tax is lower. Weather's good. Like I said, it's beautiful. So that's
basically, I would like
and
to.
It's still Midwest, which is good for business to not be West or East.
You mean Central Time?
Right. We're about
And also like we're
South.
we are freedom loving conservatives.
Yes.
If that offends you, then that's not my problem. As you notice during these shutdowns, lockdowns, the Democrat-run states really don't give a shit about your liberties or your freedoms or any of that. And if you look at the states that are getting completely overtaken by rioters, looters, and even zones that are autonomous to government control somehow, those are Democrat cities and states. And we wanted, after living in Illinois, which is a Democratic shithole, we wanted to move to a free state, a state that still has values, that still loves America, that still has freedoms and liberties. And a lot of people think that Trump is the vote that matters. And it does matter, but honestly, it doesn't really. What we found out during these lockdowns, the most important thing you vote for is local and state. So it's the governor and your local mayor that really make the big difference. And of course, state legislature. I never knew before these lockdowns that a governor can literally be like, ha, you wear masks. And people got to wear masks. Ha, I'm shutting down barbershops. Boom, barbershops are, ha, no more gyms. By an executive order. That's insane. So if there's any reason ever to pay, I never paid attention to government or voters. I never cared. We lived in North Carolina. I remember it was, forgot who the mayor was, but I remember Reiner in Reimer, whatever, in Illinois was a Republican governor, and we moved there. I'm like, hey, Illinois might be shaping up. Nah, that didn't last long. So while I don't like Republicans, I had a tweet go viral on this. I really don't like Democrats. Not if you're a Democrat, I like you. But these Democrat leaders, I don't align with any of their values. I just don't. And that doesn't mean I don't like Democrats as friends. That means that I can't vote for what I can't. Basically, I do not want to eat what they're cooking. Okay? So I don't really give a shit about Trump or Biden. Because look, literally cities have been taken over by Marxists. And Trump ain't doing shit, and he's supposed to be it. If Trump is the fascist that everybody says he is, he's a horrible fucking fascist. Because he has done a horrible job at controlling these state and city governments from letting innocent citizens have their cities taken over by Marxists and anarchists. And I think if a state fails to protect its citizens, it is the federal government's job to step in. And I think Trump was trying to play the whole 10th Amendment thing. But at the end of the day, he lost a lot of support because Trump right now is being extremely weak. And I think that might kill him in the votes because his base, like right now, if he would have gone in and said, look, what about those people living in that Chaz zone? What about those people living in those areas that are being rioted on every night? Like, those people pay taxes. Part of those taxes is for the police and fire department to protect them.
Are they going to get a refund?
Yeah. I mean, so there is a huge 51 people are suing the city of Seattle in the autonomous zone, which was supposed to be the summer of love. So what I've found is that you need to vote for your local government. And for us, instead of sitting in Illinois and trying to change the system, I'm not going to hate the player. I'm going to hate the game. I'm getting out of there.
The question was, why we chose Tennessee?
Tennessee is everything I just described. Weather, freedom. It is a constitutional carry state, so I've had threats from the internet. I can carry at all times, and that's what I love. Illinois, every zone, everything's a gun-free zone. Tennessee, I've seen 2 gun-free things at schools.
Last question. My local gym is going to reopen July 1st. So excited. Though they may require a mask in my state, still I think it's a dumb move. No one will follow. Imagine trying to breathe while having a mask on. Yeah, not going to happen. I would not be able to breathe with a mask on to work out.
So let me just, and we'll end on this, and I appreciate everybody joining in and asking questions. I'm going to end on this. And this is actually a positive thing. If a business opens and wants me to wear a mask, I'm going to wear a mask. If I go to Costco, I'm not going to be that guy protesting at the door not wearing a mask.
Hold
on. So if I walk into a gym, and I saw this firsthand at Franklin Athletic Club right up the road, because that's where I go to get my
massage.
That's where I go. Oh, this guy's a dick. He's Kate, your daughter.
Wow.
That's just me.
You are so old.
So what I noticed was.
Would you like to see our daughter? Come here.
Wait, hold on. Let me answer this. So
Come here.
go in the gym, and if you can't train in the mask, just take it off.
And we're gonna show this.
Yeah, sure.
So Axel, Marc and I were just talking about this, that there's a mayor that's requiring only white people to wear a mask.
Because they don't want.
This is our daughter. She's 14 and a half. And I know Marc looks old AF, but he's not my father because I'm like 40.
I look like I'm standing with my hair up.
He's like 65.
Give
I guess
some
that's
space. You're blocking her
So
away.
we were talking about this earlier. Would you guys be interested in Cammie joining us on a podcast to talk about being a student athlete and stuff along those lines?
She's not allowed to talk politics.
She's
Cammie
not allowed to talk
She's
politics.
like straight up QAnon.
Holy crap! We will have like death threats and stuff. Like, yeah, we will.
Cammie is so woke. She is so woke. I've never.
I won every class debate ever.
It was an honest question, Chuck. I love you. So if
I don't like you, Chuck. You go chuck yourself.
Guys, I have something to show you.
made my day. Whoa! And welcome to the show, Ruckus.
So let me.
Would you guys like Ruckus to be on the podcast? He has a lot to say. Hello.
Why are you being weird? You're making me talk. So Cammie actually has been really blessed this summer, in that a lot of these professional athletes from Europe who play in Europe are actually here because they're not able to go back because of COVID. So she's been able every day to train with Zoe, Brandon, and Brandy's daughter, and
pro soccer players and
males, dudes,
and
some
college
baby girls.
college
seniors.
seniors. So she's had a great opportunity with that. She might not suck at soccer anymore.
Oh no, that might
You
be
just
weird.
mean I would never ever insult.
So
my
this
daughter.
is Marc's granddaughter. All right. MTS protein sales soon.
It's all-
Maybe.
Here's the thing.
America.
We're about to have a really great holiday coming up.
Maybe your
Yeah.
daughter.
You just catching up. It was a serious question.
For real?
We're gonna send Chuck a care pack.
I don't like Chuck. I don't like Chuck at all. He's not a friend
Anybody
of
else want to insult Marc?
You know what? He's risked a lot to be on this podcast. He missed bingo night.
Ooh.
He missed. It's actually a little bit past his bedtime.
But I did make it to Denny's for the early bird special. Although I can say I do feel...
I think she's on my team. You need to have a podcast with Cammie.
So here's the deal though, here's the reason my legs and my hips hurt is that I drove home right after leg training from Atlanta, and my body's been messed up
And
since.
then you played with an 8-year-old. That's it.
He's 9.
But he is Brandon Curry's son. So the athlete.
Brandon Curry's son. The kid's a beast.
Dying.
The kid's a beast. Fitness question: would you ever do the carnivore? Never. No, that diet was horrible.
All right. So this is gonna be a 30-minute podcast. There's 38 minutes. We love you all, but we're gonna go play family ping pong, and then it's our bedtime because it's already 8 o'clock.
All right, guys. What are you
And-
doing? Are you trying to find where to turn it off?
No, and the kids woke us up because there was an Amber Alert this morning, and they didn't silence
Oh,
their
for
phones.
real? I silence my phone every night, and I saw it in the morning. It
No,
was when,
Thomas didn't silence his phone, and
He's
neither did
stupid.
Preston.
Oh my god.
So they were up at like 5 a.m.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next time.
You tell me that.
That's not a game.
Oh, we ended over there. I was like,
Hey, it's not a